We're at 3125 Beekman Street, doing a sanitary lateral inspection. There's been some backups. It's been opened a few times, but it keeps coming back. So we're just doing an inspection to check for, any kind of structural issues, root intrusion or something like that. Just trying to find the reasoning behind the repeated backups. So going from the clean out in the garage floor just inside the garage door, and we're going to try to push it all the way out to the main. This is cast iron right here as we go in. Imagine it will switch over to clay once it passes the foundation here. We will locate anything also as we go. There's a little bit of roots here right as we got in. It's way out of the flow line though. Here's some more. Does look like there's an awful lot of roots here. So I'm going to keep pushing out, and then we'll mark these spots on the way back. I think it's just there's definitely a hole been poked in the roots, but I think it's just there's just so much of it, and it's right there at the transition between the. Yeah, there's still just a lot of this fallen clothes. Could be folding out of the way. It's getting cleaned. Footage on the bottom isn't necessarily correct. It says 21 feet. I don't think I'm out that far, but it goes by the rotation of the drum. So we have one in clay. It was about 18 to 19 feet when we switched over to clay. And we had a little bit of stuff on the camera here. I'm going to push out as far as we can because there we go. It could need to rinse off a little bit. I think some of the lighting on the camera is covered up with some goo, so the camera's unobstructed, but I think some of the lighting is being dimmed on the side of the camera there. So hopefully once we push out we can clean the line off a little bit, and then hopefully be able to see a lot better when we pull back. Yeah, you can see now there's spots on the camera that are pretty gooey. I think we're dropping down to get into the main here now. There it is. Okay. I think we've got the camera pretty well cleaned off. It looks like there is some sort of a Y-in or something maybe. No, I think that's just a little connection there, never mind. So the rest of the line looked good. It was that first, 15 to 20 feet there, mainly I think because of all the roots. There might be a situation where that might need to be repaired. Everything else looked pretty wide open. I'm going to try to run some water in there and see how well this is flowing. I'm going to pause the video for a second while I do that. Okay, we're running some water. Hoping I can use that to kind of rinse off the camera a little bit also over here. see a lot better here as we pull back. Yeah, this all looks really good. The clay looks like it's all intact, and I don't see any trees or anything out there, so that's good. No place for any more roots to get in further down. Here we are again at that 19 foot. Yeah, and it's got a lot of drag on it. Might be a situation because the clean out is so small, you can't really get a good sized blade in there to get this out. So I'm gonna pause here. I'm gonna locate right at this spot, and then once I get back to the beginning of the roots, this is the end of the roots, and then I'll pull back and I will get another locate at the beginning of the roots, which will be closer to the clean out, and we'll mark those two so we know exactly where they're at. Okay, this is actually underneath the car in the driveway. The car is unable to be moved at the moment, but it's only a couple feet further back from where my dot is. Just looks like a bunch of finger roots. The nearest trees are in the backyard, so it's kind of odd that we've got this much roots right here. But the water level doesn't seem to be, real high. I think it's just because of the lack of opening. It's hard to get something big in here to actually, clean this thing wall to wall. So I'm going to pull it back. I'm going to mark it right at the beginning. It seems to be right here. Here's the cast iron. So right about here is where it transitions, and then right from the transition on down, it seems like that's where all the issues are. So I'm going to try to mark this spot right here. Go from there. Okay, that's only if you stand at the transition between the concrete in the garage and the blacktop. It is 4 foot into the driveway, and it's 1 foot 7 inches deep to the top of the pipe, approximately. And then from there, I think it goes out. We'll see. I'm going to push forward a little bit just to be able to get, because I was at 12.4, so 13, 14, 15. There's that part. And so we're at about 5 feet. So there's about 5 feet of pipe there just full of roots. I think there's basically the transition from the cast iron to the clay, and then maybe 2 pipe sections. This seems about right. But again, the cast iron and the looks good up to that point, and then the clay after that looks great too, all the way out to the main. So just have a bunch of trees in the rear that must have gone a long way. Of course, they will in a drought, that's for sure. So they made it here, found a good source, and set up shop. But That's going to end the inspection at 3125 Beekman Street.